You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations.
That's Daniel Martel, and I think he knows more about the disappearance of his missing stepchildren than he's letting on. And it's not just because he's somehow able to dismiss every online accusation, including those against the mother, who's statistically the most likely culprit except for himself, as crazy. So in today's video, let's analyze that recent interview and one of his earliest interviews and count all the contradictions and red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. If that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusives, early access, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. Even if you're familiar with this case, you might not be up to date with the most recent important developments. So before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Daniel, here's a quick recap.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martel is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. Martel confirmed that when the two children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots. She was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Martel says although he didn't see Jack that morning, he is believed to be wearing a brown shirt, brown pants with a pull-up diaper on underneath, and blue rain boots with dinosaurs on them. According to Martel, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
This is my third video about this case, and every time I play a news clip to set the table for new viewers, there's another glaring red flag. And at this point, it's a Russian parade. First, we have Jack and Lily, who were reported missing on a Friday, but we've since learned that they were out of school the entire week. We have Daniel, a non-biologically related adult male, in the house of small children, which is heavily correlated with neglect. As of yesterday, we have the police winding down their search for Jack and Lily, suggesting that they have reason to believe that they won't be found alive. And finally, we have the biological mother fleeing the area while her kids are still missing, suggesting she has reason to suspect that too. I won't rehash every red flag from those videos, I'll link them at the end so you can check them out after this. For now, here's a quick clip from the last one because it's important to the analysis we're going to do today. Innocent parents tend to do 7 things when they have the opportunity to get on TV. For instance, parents of missing children, if they're innocent, if they actually have no idea what happened to their kid, talk about their kid in the present tense. Secondly, we can expect them to be cooperative. So if the police or the media are asking them questions, they answer fully and candidly. Third, innocent parents are inconclusive about what happened if there's no evidence to suggest one scenario over another. In this case, if they actually found 2 boot tracks showing the kids walked into the woods, there's no way to say for sure that they must have been kidnapped or that an animal dragged them off or any other scenario. They should be considering all possibilities. And that brings me to the 4th item on the checklist. If all possibilities are open, a kidnapping is also open. So typically, innocent parents look into camera and beg any kidnappers or anyone who might have their kid to please return them. Finally, we can expect innocent parents of missing children to directly ask the audience watching on TV for help because that's the only point of doing the interview, to get help, to get information out there. If they do anything other than that, like try to push a narrative or try to construct their own alibi, we need to be suspect about that. That's the rundown of my missing child presser checklist, and those are the 7 things we're going to listen for Daniel to do in these interviews or not do, along with any signs of deception or leakage. So without further ado, let's watch the interview he did 3 days ago, and then we'll watch the one I played in the intro, which he did 24 hours ago.
We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, and just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martel is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. But he has begun to lose hope they are anywhere in the vicinity.
They hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only 2 prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it.
Martel wants the search to be extended to include provincial borders in case the children were abducted, a reality he says is becoming more and more likely.
Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border, PI border, and get them at every airport possible.
Martel confirmed that when the two children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots.
As I said in my last video analyzing Daniel, he's actually doing a lot of the things on my missing child presser checklist correctly. For instance, in this interview, he's allowing for multiple possibilities. Maybe the kids wandered off, or maybe they were abducted, but he's not allowing for every possibility. And when I say that, I mean he's not suspicious of the mother. And when I said that, I got lots of comments, I'm assuming from new subscribers, saying, hey, DD, do you really expect these two parents to start suspecting each other or bashing each other on TV? And my answer is yes, that's what innocent people do, because all options are on the table until proven otherwise, even suspecting your spouse. And it's not at all unique. We see it all the time on the channel. For example, with Gannon Stouch's mother, Kyron Harmon's mother, or Sebastian Rogers' father. In fact, as we saw in the intro, we're even starting to see signs of it in this case with Daniel. He didn't just say he wants to be polygraphed to exclude himself, he wants everyone to be polygraphed. But before we get too excited about his prospects of being innocent, we still have to finish watching this old interview from 3 days ago. So let's see what else he says here.
He also refuted the claim that the two children are nonverbal, saying while they are on the autism spectrum, they are quite trusting and say hi to everyone. According to Martel, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys, anything.
It's the end of that interview, and as you can see, Daniel asked for help, which is a great sign, but it doesn't outweigh all the suspicious stuff, like him not suspecting the mother at all after she picked up sticks and left town while her kids might still be out in the woods. And then not only do we have a contradiction about the children's talkativeness, remember initially they were supposedly nonverbal, now we have him telling us how they say hi to everybody and they're super talkative. Coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, the mother said the same thing, which makes me think that this contradiction is a contradiction of convenience. Here's how I explained it in my video analyzing the mother.
We're looking outside, we're looking everywhere, yelling for them, and I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone.
Yeah, I don't like how she's leaving all those little breadcrumbs to sort of suggest or imply to us that the kids must have been kidnapped or gone off with a stranger by telling us how talkative they are and all that sort of stuff. It's unnecessary, and it's pretty blatant if that's what she's doing. To be clear, I think the mother, Malaya, was definitely pushing a narrative when she was going on and on about how talkative the kids are, because it was unprompted, and for such a brief interview, it took up a lot of time when it had nothing to do with getting people to help find where her children are now. It was strictly theory pushing, which is the red flag for a hoaxer. Remember, they get on TV to push a theory or to build their alibi. Innocent parents get on TV to ask for help. As far as Daniel goes, I don't know why he's saying it. Maybe they scripted that they were going to say this beforehand, so they're on the same page. I'm not quite ready to go all in on him, even though I'm ready to go all in on the mother. So let's see if this most recent interview tips the scales.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Alright, so that's the clip, and I'm actually happy to see that things are breaking down between them, because it could suggest that Daniel's innocent. Or if they're both guilty, I'm glad they're turning on each other. Finally, I'll wrap up this video the same way I wrapped up so many others like Don Wells and Chris Proudfoot. Daniel, if you're open to an interview, contact me through the DD forum. At the very least, I'll get your story out to a bunch of new people. At the very best, if I'm satisfied with your answers, I'll be your biggest advocate on YouTube. If you want to continue this series, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Till next time, stay true.